This is my Subaru rally car that's been abandoned in the back of this shed since I blew it up for the second time. Now this car has been basically my whole entire life since I got it when I was about 14. And I think I've spent just about every dollar I've made on this car. It's got some questionable mods and dodgy repairs and lots of abuse, but it has taught me just about everything I know about working on cars and driving them, so probably well worth it. And it has got some nice stuff. It's already got the race seat, the harness, the 6-point cage, hydro handbrake, welded diff, as well as it's got 4-pot front brakes and the 2-pot disc conversion rear, as it was drum brakes. But certainly the cream of the crop is the 3.6 litre H6 conversion that I did a few months only before I blew it up. I did this after blowing up the original engine, thinking it would obviously be more power and more reliable. More power it was, more reliable it was not. So in this video, the plan is to rip this out, put a new one in, as well as some changes to make it not blow up again in a couple months. I have to change the exhaust and I'm gonna lower it and also make it rear wheel drive. Right, so upon dropping the oil, I found a lot of coolant as well as the oil, and also this little guy fell out. So, got curious, started to pull off the oil pan and found all this. That is like a sandpit of engine internal carnage. Pretty crazy. And then you look up in the engine from where the oil pan was, and there's this loose. I'm not really sure what it is. I can tell there's the oil pickup, but whatever it is not meant to be that broken. So I'm in here pulling out the front CVs to pull the engine and trans. I figured might as well put in the shocks while I'm in there. So these are the old Forester shocks, and these are the new, they're just max pitting rods, and I got them second hand. They're like $100, so I will definitely put nicer shocks in eventually, but this will allow me to drop it down fairly cheap without spending heaps just to start with. Because I'm making this rear wheel drive, I need to take the front shafts out, but Subarus need you to have the shaft to hold the whole wheel bearing together. So I've got these, which are off other Subaru axles, just old ones that I had. Got one up in there, and I'm hoping that should just hold it all together and delete the front shafts. Now I'm probably gonna have to adjust these coilovers a bit, but as you can see, there's that one, and there's this one. Quite a substantial difference. Went ahead and threw in the rear shocks as well, and it is a different car. Slammed. Not really, but lowered. Just got to go ahead and undo the drive shaft and then the engine and trans mounts, and should be ready to pull it out. With a little bit of wiggling, got the engine out, and now I've split the trans. So I can't really do much with the engine yet because I don't have a new one. So we're gonna have to get onto that quick smart. But with the trans, I have to weld the center diff, which is in here somewhere. I have to do some research on that too. But that is to convert it to rear wheel drive. Otherwise, most of the power will just get sent to the front and they'll just spin freely. So got to weld that up, which is probably what I'm going to do next because there's not much else I can do before I get a new engine. In here to weld up the center diff, I just had to take these bolts out here. Bit of a smack, it was stuck on that pin. And then there's these, that all just slides out. And then this here is the center diff. A bit of weight to it. So I just got to work out. I've watched some videos. You can strip it all out and then you weld like this plate to this and another bit inside, and that means you could leave your front drive shafts in as well when you do it. But I want to see if I can find a way to do it so that you would have to take the front shafts out, because if I want to put them back in to have all-wheel drive, just with a locked center diff. If it's just going to be way easier to just make it permanently rear-wheel drive, that's fine. But yeah, see what I can do. Start cracking this open. All right, so there was this snap ring here, in here. Pop that out, and I just sat this on the vise and punched in here. And this should still come apart.
Do you hear that? My sanity about to break while everyone I know's out. On a trip, on a boat, on a lake. I'm tired of feeling on FOMO. Babe, I don't even care if we stay home. Put our to-do list on ice.
Just like that. The rain's just calmed down enough for me to be able to hear myself in the shed, and I got my head around all of how this works. So you can see in here there's two splines on this shaft. I can get the focus. You got this one, and then you got the one further back in here. So sit this in here so I don't all lose it. When you come over here to the diff, this is the part that goes into that shaft, and you can see, hopefully in the light, splines there and then splines inside it. So this are the inner splines, and these spin the front shafts. So what most people do is they take that out, then you've got these splines which go to the front, like to your flywheel clutch. Then you just put this bit, weld that on there, and you weld that in there, and then it just becomes a direct shaft for these splines and the splines in there. And that gives you rear-wheel drive, and you could actually leave the front drive shaft in the car and you'd still only be rear-wheel drive. Now, I do want all-wheel drive just in case I don't like rear-wheel drive and want to go back. So what I'm going to do is leave this guy in here and just weld him in and get some weld in here as well, so that if I wanted to, I could just put the front drive shafts back in the car and have all-wheel drive just with the locked center diff. So got to clean these up a lot more, and then yeah, weld that one in, and then weld this one to that one, and then weld the plate back on top, and she'll be all locked up. I got the center diff back in the transmission back together, and now the transmission back in the car. So we're ready to bolt a new engine up to that when I get one. For now, I bought this digital dash. This is a PowerTune V5. Got it secondhand on Marketplace, $450. And I bolted it into this. This is like just the original dash, all pulled apart, and then that will sit in there, and then that will sit on there. Not perfect, looks a little rough, but do for now. Might buy one of the proper adapters later, but for now that'll definitely hold it and hopefully work well. I didn't have a dash in this last time, so that's why I'm putting one in, because after I did the swap I didn't have any money left to buy a dash. Got the new engine, has arrived. It was in a box. It was on a pallet. It was on a bigger pallet. Anyway, ordered it off eBay. It took a couple weeks to come, but looks alright, so should work. I also got the old one pulled apart while I was waiting out there, and found some more crunchy bits of piston in here, a couple of valves, so hopefully we have better luck with this one. Okay, it's the next day after the engine showed up. I had to finish some things off on the green nugget yesterday, but today is engine day, so we'll get this cleaned up. It's got stuff on it, and get the clutch on. I think that's it. The rest we can do once it's in. I'll get the engine mounts on and then drop it in. Alright, I think we're ready to throw this in. We've got the clutch on, engine mounts on, changed the spark plugs while it was out, all the little things. Hopefully I haven't forgotten anything, and if I have, we'll worry about that later. Let's get it in. Just like that, the engine is in the car. I've started to button a few things up, fuel lines, vacuum lines, other little things. I'll put the alternator in now and we'll just keep ticking away. Got the old orange covers back on there. Starting to look right at home. So we'll put it back together, filled up with fluids, all except coolant, but we'll give it a crank and hopefully it fires right up. Been a couple days since we got it fired up. It does mad burnout, so that's always good. And now I've moved on to making an exhaust instead of the hood dumps because they wouldn't let me race with them anymore. Here's what I've created for an exhaust. 2-inch into 3-inch side dump. Muffler in there, flexi pipe thing, O2 sensor. Let's get it in and hopefully it sounds good. First time back up on the rally track with the car. So far so good. I've just been going around slowly. Bunch of sticks I've had to clear because it's been a little neglected. So yeah, I've done a little bit of ignition tuning and just got the fuel, testing the fuel base map now. So far so good. I don't know how much footage I'll be able to get, but subscribe so I can buy a drone and I'll do my best. I got the car all loaded up, took it down to the car wash and got it washed. Off to a little carnicross. First little run for the car, so hopefully it all goes well. got the car unloaded back from a little carnicross the other day. The car was flawless, super happy with it. It was slippery out there and we're sliding around a heap, so it was heaps of fun. I'm gonna leave this video here. Let me know what else you'd like to see me do with the car. If you want to see me take it to the dyno, do some tuning, get some numbers, or go to a skid pan day, drift day, do some drifting, just let me know, subscribe, and I'll get it done. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.